Iran has had many capitals in its long history. Set against a dramatic skyline of mountains, Tehran is the newest. The Golestan, or Rose Garden Palace, is nowadays a museum as well as a royal residence. The famous Peacock Throne is here. This is a modern city with wide streets and fine buildings. The university, established in 1934, has about 10,000 students, including some from Britain. It was in the afternoon of March the 2nd, 1961, at Mehrabad Airport, that His Imperial Majesty Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi and Her Gracious Majesty Queen Farah Pahlavi waited to receive their royal guests. This was an historic occasion, for it was the first visit to Iran by a reigning British monarch. The Britannia taxis in. And Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, accompanied by His Royal Highness Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, steps from the aircraft. The warmest greetings are exchanged with the Shah and Empress Farah. Such was the beginning of the visit. A return visit, for His Imperial Majesty had paid a state visit to Britain in the spring of 1959. Before leaving the airport, the traditional ceremonies were carried out. On the drive to the palace, a halt was made at the place of the 24th Esfand, that is, March the 24th Square. Here, the mayor of Tehran presented Her Majesty with the key of the city. From here, the royal party continued their journey in the beautiful state coaches, which had not been used since the coronation of the Shah's father. A new wing has been added to the Golestan Palace, and it was here that the Queen and Prince Philip were to stay. Next morning, at the tomb of Reza Shah the Great, a wreath was borne into the mausoleum on behalf of the Queen. It was her tribute to the greatly honored founder of the present Pahlavi dynasty. The tomb is at Ray, a short distance from Tehran, and Iran's capital, when Tehran was a village. The mausoleum is a place of solemn beauty, a fitting resting place for a great ruler. The Queen's wreath was of lilies and lilac. On her way back to Tehran, the Queen visited a workers' housing estate. The blocks of flats provide first-class evidence of Iran's modernization speed up. Queen and Prince Philip were shown over one of the flats, and they saw construction plans for more workers' estates about to be built. The Ashraf School of Nursing has several British nurses on its staff, and the Queen was able to see both staff and students at work. Prince Philip visited the Cento Institute of Nuclear Science at Tehran University. It's part of the scheme agreed by members of the Central Treaty Organization for special training in the use of byproducts of nuclear energy for peaceful purposes. The center is staffed by scientists from member countries and from the United Kingdom Atomic Energy Research Establishment. It was opened in 1959 by the Shah. Later in the day, the royal visitors were accompanied by their Imperial Majesties when they went to the Amjadieh Stadium. They were to see a sports display specially planned and rehearsed in their honor. Girls from the Reza Shah the Great Girls' School took part. Strong men performed traditional Iranian exercises, and police cadets gave a smart exhibition of calisthenics. In the evening, the Queen and her husband gave a party at the British Embassy. Here was an opportunity to make some return for the wonderful hospitality they themselves had already received. Nearly 40 guests were invited, and they included members of the Iranian royal family and the government. The guests of honor, of course, were the Shah and Empress Farah. They were entertained to dinner, which included dishes which had been specially flown out from Britain. Earlier, the imperial crown jewels had been inspected by the Queen at the Central Bank. Isfahan was also once a capital of Iran. Ancient goalposts which still stand are a reminder that polo was played in this beautiful square centuries ago. Isfahan's history stretches back 5,000 years. It's the wonderful buildings, such as the mosques of Sheikh Lutfullah and Shah Abbas, that are the glory of Isfahan. The Shah himself showed his guests round this lovely city, which was once known as half the world. At a royal banquet earlier, His Imperial Majesty had described Isfahan as a city which prides itself on its artistic productions and its historical monuments, as well as its industrial activity. Certainly, Isfahan is a marvelous blend of the old and the new. A city of mosques and domes and minarets, of buildings dating from the 8th century, of others built by Shah Abbas at a time when Queen Elizabeth I was on the throne of England. Now, Queen Elizabeth II, touring the city, saw the heritage of Iranian genius perfectly preserved, a lasting inspiration to the modern world. Presently, the royal party went to the upper terrace of the Ali Gapu, or lofty gateway, to obtain a splendid view over Isfahan. Here, monarchs of the past would watch pageants, parades, or polo. That afternoon, the Queen visited the hospital of the Church of England Missionary Society. Her Majesty went all round the hospital, seeing for herself the great work being done by the mission. Nearby, incidentally, is a school for the blind, founded on the initiative of the mission and supported by the cooperation of Britain and Iran. From Isfahan to Shiraz, city of poets and gardens. The tomb of the famous 14th century poet Hafez has a setting as lyrical as his own work. Another of Iran's great poets is enshrined here in Shiraz. This is the tomb of Saadi, who died nearly 700 years ago. Like Hafez, he was born in this beautiful city of learning and culture. Up-to-the-minute hospitals like this, however, show Shiraz as a city of the present as well as of the past. Finally, Persepolis. This was the capital of the Achaemenian kings who ruled over 2,000 years ago. Stones and carvings and inscriptions that survive can still tell the story of ancient civilization and past splendor. This is thanks to the magnificent program of preservation and restoration which the Iranian government have undertaken, and in which British archaeologists and engineers have been privileged to play their part. A splendid, never-to-be-forgotten royal visit was almost over. With the Alborz Mountains towering majestically in the background, the royal visitors said goodbye to their hosts at Tehran's airport. The Shah, in his welcoming speech, had spoken of the strong and traditional ties which have so long bound Iran and the United Kingdom. The Queen replied in these words: "Today, our two countries continue to stand together, seeking only to cooperate with others in the great tasks of bringing peace and contentment to all the peoples of the world. There are many challenges in front of us, but strong in the support of our friends, the future need have no perils for us."